So I want to just address the end of the first part of the first sugya, namely the Sephardic statement of Rab Aha or Rab Ahai, because I don't think that I explained it fully in the class, and I don't want to repeat it in next week. So I'm doing it now. So this class is in addition to the class that I gave on Tuesday night of last week. We have this class. So Pashit Rav Ahai. So again, we had this series of questions. Right? And there was 3 questions. Halahu, what's the law if he gets sick? Haltahi, what's the law if she gets sick? Pirsanida, what's the law if she pirsanida? Okay? So now I want to explain that. Comes Rav Ahai, and he gives an answer. Pashit Rav Ahai. So according to the answer of Rav Ahai, Higia Zeman velo niseu, ochelot mishelo, ve'ochelot bateruma. Again, Pashit Rav Ahai, Higia Zeman velo niseu, ochelot mishelo, ve'ochelot bateruma. Lo naseu la katane, ella lo niseu. Right? So he says, the Mishnah says lo niseu, it doesn't say lo naseu. The point of Rav Aha is as follows. Since the Mishnah says lo niseu, we have to take it seriously. It can't be a situation where we say, oh, because there's ones, we're going to say kol onsa la'achla. No, we can't say that because it says lo niseu. So Rav Ahai is taking the lashon of the Mishnah seriously, but he acknowledges the shita of Shemuel, right? Meaning he acknowledges that there is a situation where we're going to excuse the husband from paying the mezonot, and that's the point of hechi dameh. Hechi dameh means under what circumstance do we say meaning, under what circumstance are we going to say that even though the husband was anus, he has to pay mezonot? Do we mean to say under all circumstances? Well, the answer would seem to be yes, but he says no. It can't be under all circumstances. For example, if she refuses to get married, we're going to say she refuses to get married, he has to pay her. I mean, no, that would be extortion. It can't be that. That's a situation, right? That wouldn't be the law in that case. The only way to explain we have to give it credence, meaning we can't ignore the language of the Mishnah. We have to give this language credence. And therefore, when the Mishnah said meaning even though the husband is anus, he still has to pay the mezonot. It's dealing with halahu, haltahi, pirsanida. El alav de itnis ki hagavna. V'katane, ochelot mishlo, ve'ochelot bateruma. So he agrees with Shemuel. Namely, of course, that if the Higia Zaman B'yom Revi'i, the Yerushalmi says, then they would have to pay mezonot. But any other day, no. But Ika de Ba'ela Mivaya means, besides the point of Shemuel, on which we agree, on which there is unanimous agreement that indeed, lo ochelot mishelo, right? Because he has a man other than Yom Revi'i, lo ochelot mishelo. But we have to give meaning to Higia Zaman Velo Niseu. And that's the meaning. Halahu haltahin pirsanita. And that's the way Rav Ahai explains it. Comes Rav Asher, and Rav Asher disagrees. And now you notice it also another point I didn't explain in the class, and I have to explain it. What does it say Amar Rav Asher? Should it say Rav Asher Amar? Rav Asher is disagreeing with Rav Ahai. What does it say Amar Rav Asher? Le'olam emalach, kol onsa la'achla. Because obviously this is a latter interpolation into the Gemara. Meaning, Amar Rav Asher, Le'olam emalach, kol onsa la'achla. That was the continuation of the previous part of the sugya. Meaning, before we had the Ika de Ba'ela Mivaya, right? We had Lefichach, Halahu, או שחלת ההיא, או שפירס הנידה, זה אומר, אינו מעלה לה מזונות. That was the original sugya. And on that comes Rav Asher and says, Amar Rav Asher, le'olam emalach, kol onsa la'achla. You understand the way the Gemara was originally? It makes perfect sense. Because if you didn't have that, it was here, Rav Asher Amar, or, So the whole thing is out of order. First of all, you should first bring Rav Asher before Rav Aha. Rav Aha is after Rav Asher. It should have been Rav Asher, Amar Rav Asher, and then Rav Aha Amar, or something like that. But again, this is a latter interpolation of the Sevoraim, obviously. So the latter interpolation is Ika de Ba'ila Mibaya, comes Rav Aha and says, yes, I was there sitting down in the yeshiva when Rav Asher gave the shi'ur, and honestly, I dissented. And this is his dissent. And in perfect rabbinic protocol, the dissent is recorded in the Talmud, interpolated by the Sevoraim, right? And a worthy interpolation at that, so that we understand that it's not so logical, because we said lefichach is logical. Comes Rav Aha and says, well, logic, not logic, I'll give you a different logic that disagrees with kol onsa la'achla. You understand? So that was the first point I wanted to make. The second point I wanted to make was an interesting question that somebody brought up. I don't remember who. So first of all, you understand. So now you understand the first part of the sugya. It's very simple. Yeah. Now I want to go to that second point, and the second point was in the case of Pirsanida. We said, I'm going now to Daf Bet Amud Aleph on the bottom of the page, second line from the bottom. V'im t'maseh lomar amra le nistahefa sadeu. That nistahefa sadeu, she can use that ta'ana against him so that he does have to pay her mezonot. Pirsanida mahu. What's the law with Pirsanida? B'shat bista lativ elach. Dela masya amra le nistahefa sadeu. If it's Bishat Vista, she can't say Nistahefa Sadeh, because Nistahefa Sadeh means something unusual happened. Something unusual, unexpected, tough luck on you. You can't say that Pirsanida is tough luck on you. It's not tough luck. It's a fact of life that there's a Veset. And the Veset happens and she's Nida. So that, there's an acknowledgement that in that case, Pirsanida Bishat Vista, lo ma'alena bezonot. Right? And that's related to what Rav Aha says, Ki dekame akevan inhi. Right? Because if kame akevan inhi, hu lo yachol le'alot laha mezonot. Right? But the point is, shelo b'sha'at besta mai. Kevan de lo b'sha'at besta havia masya amra le'nistahefa sadehu, Olima kevan deika neshe deka mishane. By the way, the grammar of the Gemara. Kevan deika neshe deka mishanya. It's plural form. Neshe plural. So meshane has to be meshane vestayu. Okay, I mean again, the editing of the text by whoever edited the Vilna Shas isn't pristine at times, if I may. Okay, kevan deika neshe deka mishane vestayu. Right? So the point is, somebody asked me, why don't we say Ne'esa kimisha habshuhu soferim? And if we say Ne'esa kimisha habshuhu soferim because she's nida, right? So in that case, he would be patur, right? But we said that, and indeed, b'sha'at vesta, he's patur. But I think that, and so if that's the case, why don't we say shelo b'sha'at vesta? Because I don't think that's Ne'esa kimisha habshuhu soferim, meaning it was an unexpected event, right? This, that she became nida suddenly, it was unanticipated. You can't say hafshuhu soferim. I mean, obviously he can't be with her, right? Because this is called you can't have nisu'im shelo nitenu lebi'ah, right? So it's true that's a rule. You can't have nisu'im shelo nitenu lebi'ah. But the point is, and that's exactly the question. Do we say that shelo b'sha'at vesta is like sha'at vesta, or do we say it's like nistahefa sadeu? That's the question. And on this we have the final answer of Rav Aha, who says no, niseu velo naseu, and therefore he has to pay in all circumstances other than either nida b'sha'at vesta or when the 12-month period expires, other than on Wednesday. Comes Rav Asher, and he creates this principle, Kol onsa la achla. That's a general principle that Rav Asher doesn't introduce, but he or the yeshiva Rav Asher finally reaches the conclusion that the concept of ones is a general concept in ketuvot, in contract law as well, and therefore kol onsa la achla.